He knocked down a wall in his house and found an entire hidden city. In 1963, a man in the province of Turkey was doing a little home remodeling. He decided to knock down a wall of his home for an expansion. He discovered a hidden room on the wall with a slender hallway carved out of the stone below his home. The hallway led to a cave-like room which led to more hallways in cave-like rooms. Before he knew it, he had stumbled onto an entire underground city that was attached to his home. The city was completely empty and abandoned, but it had every amenity you would need to sustain a society. He ended up finding the ancient underground city of Derinkuyu. Derinkuyu was an entire city carved into the stone below Cappadocia. Reaching some 60 meters down, it had 18 levels, and included residences, churches, food storage, wineries, and even a school. Yes, that's right, wineries. It was designed to house some 20,000 people as well as a number of livestock. It features vents to the surface and several discrete entrances like the tunnel found behind the wall. These hidden entrances suggest that the city was built as a precaution in order to shelter the population in times of war or natural disaster. Cities like this were used during times of Christian persecution, so religious items would be placed on the lowest levels for protection. The underground tunnels lead to giant rooms that housed schools, wine cellars, oil press rooms, churches, gathering halls, shops, tombs, arsenals, livestock corrals, escape routes and water wells separated from the surface water. There are over 100 entrances to the underground cities, but each and every one of them are hidden behind bushes or walls. Even courtyards had entrances that were hidden but big enough to move livestock in and out of. The entrances and other important rooms were guarded with giant stone doors. They were hand-carved and weigh up to 1,00 pounds. Some are over 5 feet in diameter. Underground river systems were used as drinking sources in order to avoid being poisoned by surface water susceptible to enemies above ground. How amazing is this place? I'm astounded that it was completely built by hand. The size of the rooms is incredible. Right now, about 10% of the underground city is open to the public, but it was only discovered in 1963, so experts still have a lot to excavate and document. This is one of the well shafts. They built it so that the vent shaft did not reach the surface. This would prevent any poisoning from enemies on the surface. This is a vertical staircase leading to a floor below. These lead to most levels and can be very menacing. The tunnels were dug very narrow to force people to walk through them in a single line. This would give the people living in the underground cities an advantage over their enemies. Based on research, the very elaborate underground city was connected via stairways and passages, and even connected to other underground cities through tunnels that stretched for miles. It's thought to have been initially built during the 7th and 8th centuries BC, and was in continual, frequent use through the 12th century. Based on the church they found on the 5th and lowest level, it seems the population was Christian, and probably used the city during wartime. The city was also used as a refuge from the Mongolian invasion in the 1300s and up through the 20th century for Christian people fleeing persecution. It was finally abandoned for good in 1923. Most of Derinkuyu's entrances are hidden. All of the 5 levels can be closed off separately with huge stone doors. The room intended for livestock and food stores, as well as a 55-meter shaft used as a well, means the inhabitants planned to be able to stay there for a very long period of time. There were even arsenals and escape passages in case things became desperate. According to some scientists, caves might have been built initially in the soft volcanic rock of the Cappadocia region by the Phrygians in the 8th–7th centuries BCE, according to the Turkish Department of Culture. When the Phrygian language died out in Roman times, replaced with its close relative, the Greek language, the inhabitants, now Christian, expanded their caverns to deep multiple-level structures, adding the chapels and Greek inscriptions. The city at Derinkuyu was fully formed in the Byzantine era, when it was heavily used as protection from Muslim Arabs during the Arab-Byzantine Wars, 780–1180 CE. The city was connected with other underground cities through many kilometers of tunnels. Some artifacts discovered in these underground settlements belong to the Middle Byzantine period, between the 5th and the 10th centuries. These cities continued to be used by the Christian natives as protection from the Mongolian incursions of Timur in the 14th century. After the region fell to the Ottomans, the cities were used as refuges by the natives from the Turkish Muslim rulers. In 1969, the site was open to visitors, with about half of the underground city currently accessible. It is amazing how a man single-handedly discovered an entire underground city below his house. Who knows what other places and secrets might be hiding underground all around the world.